You're going through a box of medical antiques left by your grandfather and find a strange device. It has a cord that plugs into the wall, a light source, and a long metal viewing tube. It looks invasive and terrifying. There is no text on it. It looks like a tool for looking inside something. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a vintage proctoscope, or rectoscope. It is a medical instrument used by doctors to examine the anal canal and lower rectum. The light source illuminates the area, and the tube allows the doctor to inspect for hemorrhoids or other issues. While modern versions are often disposable plastic, these older metal units were sterilized and reused. Finding one in a grandfather's collection suggests he was a doctor or collected medical curiosities. Either way, it's a piece of history that makes you grateful for modern medicine. You are digging through a junk drawer and find a small copper object. It is about 1.25 inches long and 0.25 inches in diameter. It is threaded on one end and has a tiny hole running through the center. It looks like a nozzle for something, or maybe a very specific screw. It has tool marks on it. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a contact tip for a MIG welder. In metal inert gas, MIG welding, a continuous solid wire electrode is fed through the welding gun. This copper tip sits at the very end of the gun. Its job is to transfer the electrical current to the wire right before it hits the metal joint to create the arc. Because they are constantly exposed to extreme heat and spatter, they wear out frequently and are considered consumables, which is why a welder might have a handful of used ones rattling around in a drawer. You are walking on a sidewalk and keep seeing these small, colorful plastic objects scattered around. They have a round cap that twists off to reveal a tiny, sharp needle. They look like thumbtacks, but more medical. It's concerning to see needles on the ground. Does anyone know what this could be? These are single-use lancets for blood glucose testing. Diabetics use them with a spring-loaded lancing device to prick their finger and get a drop of blood for their glucometer. The round cap is twisted off to expose the needle before use, and often stuck back on, or meant to be, for safe disposal. Unfortunately, they are sometimes dropped or discarded improperly, becoming a biohazard litter problem in public spaces. You are eating a burrito or a salad and bite into something hard and round. It feels like a piece of wood or a small stone. It is dark brown and roughly button-shaped. It was hidden in the guacamole or among the vegetables. It's definitely not a bean. Does anyone know what this could be? This is the woody stem nub, or peduncle, of an avocado. When avocados are harvested, a small piece of the stem often remains attached to the top of the fruit. As the avocado ripens, the stem piece dries out and becomes hard and wood-like. If the person preparing the guacamole or chopping the avocado doesn't flick it off before mashing the fruit, it ends up in the food. It's a common, albeit unpleasant, surprise in Mexican cuisine, but it is harmless organic matter. You find a weird electronic device under the dashboard of your used car. It is a small black box wired into the ignition or starter system. It might have a slot for a key or a light. It looks aftermarket, not like a factory part. It looks suspicious, like a tracker or a kill switch. Does anyone know what this could be? This is an aftermarket starter interrupt device, commonly known as a buy here, pay here immobilizer, or a payment assurance device. Dealerships that finance cars to people with poor credit install these to ensure payment. If you miss a payment, the dealer can remotely disable your car so it won't start, or the device might require you to enter a code every month to keep the car running. Finding one on a used truck often means the previous owner had subprime financing, or the device was never removed after the loan was paid off. You find a strange nail on the floor. It has a large, decorative brass head that looks like a flower or a rosette. The pin part is thick and short. It looks too fancy to be a construction nail, but too heavy to be a tack. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a decorative picture hanging nail, often called a picture pin or a floreate hanger. Unlike standard nails that you hide behind the frame, these are designed to be seen. You hammer them into the wall at an upward angle, and the decorative brass head serves as the hook for the picture wire. They add a touch of Victorian or traditional elegance to a room, turning the hardware itself into a piece of decor. You find a tiny pendant in your grandmother's jewelry box. It looks like a coin, but it's very small, smaller than a dime. One side has a profile of a woman, and the other says 1834. It looks like toy money, but it feels heavy for its size. Grandma always said it was an old coin. Does anyone know what this could be? This is likely a California fractional gold coin, or a token made to look like one. In the mid-1800s, during the gold rush, there was a shortage of small change, so jewelers minted tiny gold coins in 25-cent, 50-cent, and $1 denominations. If it is genuine gold from that era, it is a valuable collector's item worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. However, many brass replicas were made as souvenirs in the 1900s. You should take it to a coin appraiser to verify if you have real gold or just vintage costume jewelry. You open a tube of electrolyte tablets, like Nuon, and find tiny orange and clear beads loose inside the cap or the container. They look like candy or sprinkles. Did the tablets disintegrate? Are they safe to eat? They look tempting but suspicious. Does anyone know what this could be? These are silica gel desiccant beads. Electrolyte tablets are highly hygroscopic, meaning they absorb moisture from the air very easily. If they get damp, they turn into a fizzy goo. To prevent this, manufacturers hide a packet or a chamber of silica gel in the stopper cap to keep the tube dry. Sometimes the cap cracks, releasing the beads into the tube. They are not candy and should not be eaten, though they are generally non-toxic. Just pick them out and the tablets are fine. You find a small black metal cylinder at work. It looks like a bullet or a secret spy container. Inside, there are 2 cotton balls and some white powder. It looks incredibly suspicious, like it could be illicit drugs. You are worried about touching it. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a pill fob, likely used to carry emergency medication like nitroglycerin for heart conditions, or just aspirin. The metal container is waterproof and attaches to a keychain, so the medication is always with the person. The cotton balls are placed inside to prevent the pills from rattling around and turning into dust, which explains the white powder you found. While the powder looks suspicious, it is almost certainly just crushed aspirin or heart medication from years of being shaken in a pocket. You look at the brick fireplace in your new house and notice fluffy white crystals growing in the mortar joints. It looks like snow or white mold. You touch it, and it crumbles into dust. Is it a dangerous fungus growing out of your chimney? Does anyone know what this could be? This is efflorescence. It is a deposit of salts, usually calcium or sodium, that forms on the surface of porous materials like brick, concrete, or stone. It happens when water inside the brick dissolves natural salts and then migrates to the surface. As the water evaporates, it leaves the salt crystals behind. On a fireplace, it often indicates that moisture is getting into the chimney from rain or a leak, traveling through the masonry and evaporating into your living room. It's harmless to touch, but signals a moisture issue. You find a shiny, pointed metal object. It looks like a bullet, but it's just the tip, not the whole casing. It is heavy and sleek. It looks like a modern projectile. It was found on a range or in a collection. Does anyone know what this could be? This appears to be a projectile for the 8.6 Blackout cartridge or a similar high-caliber round. The 8.6 Blackout is a relatively new cartridge designed by Q LLC, intended for use with suppressors and short barrels. The projectiles are often long and heavy for their caliber to maintain energy at subsonic speeds. Finding just the projectile, the bullet itself, usually means it was pulled from a cartridge for reloading or was found on a firing range after hitting a backstop without deforming. You are digging through a desk drawer or looking at a used laptop you just bought, and you find a tiny metal plug stuck inside the charging port. It is very small, round or oval, and sits almost flush with the device. When you bring a piece of metal near it, it snaps onto it. It's magnetic. It blocks you from plugging in a normal cable. Is it a broken piece of a charger? Does anyone know what this could be? This is the receiver tip for a magnetic charging cable, such as those made by brands like Static or NetDot. These are aftermarket accessories designed to mimic the convenience of Apple's old MagSafe power cords. You leave this little plug inserted in your phone or laptop's USB-C port permanently. To charge, you simply bring the magnetic cable near it, and it snaps into place without fumbling. This protects the device's charging port from wear and tear, caused by constantly plugging and unplugging cables and prevents the device from being dragged off the table if you trip over the cord. You unbox a refurbished Asus ROG gaming laptop, or perhaps you find a small angular piece of plastic loose in the box. It looks decorative, with a bit of texture or a logo. It doesn't look like a keycap or a battery cover. It seems to fit somewhere on the back of the machine, near the hinge, but the laptop works fine without it. Is it a broken piece? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a customizable armor cap for the hinge of an Asus ROG Strix G15 or G17 gaming laptop. Asus designed these high-end laptops with a removable piece of trim on the rear hinge area. The laptop originally comes with a few different colored caps, like spangle silver, rubber gray, or translucent black, that you can swap out to personalize the look of your rig. They are purely cosmetic. If you found one loose in the box, it's just an extra accessory that the previous owner or the refurbisher included for you to customize your new computer. You are looking through an old jewelry box and find a simple metal strip that is bent back on itself. It clicks when you press the center tongue. It looks utilitarian and plain compared to the necklaces and rings. It's slightly rusted or tarnished. It doesn't look like it attaches to clothing. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a classic metal snap hair clip, also known as a barrette or contour clip. These have been a staple of hairstyling for decades. The design relies on a piece of flexible spring steel that snaps between a concave and convex position to lock onto a section of hair. They are often used to hold bangs back or secure flyaway hairs. While modern versions are often covered in colorful plastic or resin, the vintage ones were frequently bare metal, sometimes painted to match hair colors, and are notorious for getting lost in the bottom of jewelry boxes. Every few months, you find a weird little object on your floor. It is a thin metal or plastic pin about an inch long with a tiny round ball on one end and a slightly flared head on the other. It looks like a nail or a pin, but it's not sharp. It's painful if you step on it. It seems to appear out of nowhere. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a single bristle from a cushioned hairbrush. Brushes with a rubber pneumatic pad, like the famous Mason Pearson or generic paddle brushes, hold these pins in place loosely to allow for flexibility while brushing. Over time, the rubber dries out or the holes stretch, allowing individual bristles to pop out and fall onto the floor. The little ball on the tip is designed to protect your scalp from scratches. Finding them is a sure sign that it's time to buy a new hairbrush. You receive a package containing a flat, padded object. It has a strap with a hook on one end and two plastic discs on elastic loops on the other. It looks vaguely like a small seat or a backrest, but it doesn't have legs. It came with an order, but wasn't listed on the invoice. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a universal car seat cushion or seat cover. The seemingly confusing straps are the mounting hardware. You place the cushion on your car seat, and the two plastic discs, often called chucks, are pushed through the gap between the seat back and the seat bottom. Once pushed through, they turn sideways to anchor the cushion in place, so it doesn't slide around. The hook on the front strap attaches to the underside of the seat frame. It's a simple way to add padding or protect the upholstery of a vehicle. You buy a large poster or a laminated print at a convention, and it comes with a packet of metal tabs and adhesive strips. The tabs are small, rectangular pieces of metal. You want to hang the poster, but you don't want to use thumbtacks that poke holes in it. How do these tabs help? Does anyone know what this could be? These are mounting magnets. The system is designed to hang art without damaging it. You adhere one metal plate, or magnet, to the wall using the sticky strip, and place the other plate, or magnet, on the front of the poster. The poster is sandwiched between the two magnets, holding it firmly in place without any pins going through the paper. It allows you to easily swap out posters or move them without leaving holes in your expensive artwork. You get an advent calendar or a bouquet and find sprigs of a plant with tiny, colorful flowers. They are bright pink, blue, or purple. They look dry and papery. They look like wildflowers, but the colors seem too vivid to be natural. Does anyone know what this could be? This is gypsophila, commonly known as baby's breath, that has been artificially dyed or painted. Naturally, baby's breath has small, delicate white flowers. Florists often spray paint them. or let them drink dyed water to create vibrant colors for arrangements, dried flower crafts, or holiday decorations. It's a popular filler flower because it dries well and holds its shape, making it perfect for long-lasting displays like advent calendars. You are a nurse or a diabetic who uses syringes. You notice that the plastic plunger has a weird notch or a flange near the rubber stopper. It doesn't seem to affect the function. Why isn't the plunger just a smooth rod? Does anyone know what this could be? That notch or flange is a tactile stop or indicator. Its purpose is to prevent the plunger from being pulled all the way out of the barrel accidentally, which would spill the medication and contaminate the syringe. In some designs, it also provides a tactile click or resistance when the syringe is filled to its maximum capacity, letting the user know by feel that they have reached the limit without having to stare at the markings. You find a sturdy plastic container marked Monsanto. Inside is a weird electronic device with a CAL sticker. It looks like a circuit board encased in plastic. It warns about static electricity. It was found in a barn. Does anyone know what this could be? This is likely a replacement electronic control module or sensor for agricultural equipment. Monsanto, while famous for seeds and chemicals, also developed precision farming technology. This unit could be a controller for a sprayer, a planter, or a yield monitor. The heavy-duty casing protects the sensitive electronics from the dust and moisture of farm life. The CAL sticker indicates it was factory calibrated. It's a specialized spare part for high-tech farming. You are clearing out the home of an elderly relative and find a strange little pocket-sized book. It is made of leather and snaps shut with a firm popper button. Inside, instead of normal paper pages, it has thick card pages with thin gauze strips or slots running across them. The slots are too small for photos and too weird for stamps. It seems to be designed to hold something very specific, but what? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a vintage business card holder, or visiting card case. In the early to mid-20th century, exchanging cards was a formal ritual. Salesmen, professionals, and socialites needed a way to organize the cards they collected from others. This book allowed them to slot the cards into the pages so that the names were visible at a glance, rather than having them jumbled in a pocket. The gauze or plastic strips held the cards in place while keeping the book thin enough to fit in a jacket pocket. It's the analog ancestor of the contact list on your phone. Your parents move house and find a blue plastic object in a drawer. It is cylindrical with slots or holes in it. It looks like a filter, but it's open at the top. It seems to fit inside something else. It's made of food-grade plastic. Does anyone know what this could be? This is the fruit infuser insert for a water bottle. Many reusable water bottles come with this central basket. You fill the blue tube with sliced lemons, strawberries, or cucumbers, and then screw it into the bottle cap. It hangs in the water, allowing the fruit flavor to infuse the drink while keeping the seeds and pulp contained so they don't choke you while you sip. Without the specific bottle it was designed for, it's just a useless plastic cage. You find a silver metal rod at a thrift store. It has a loop or a decorative knob on top and a screw thread on the bottom. It looks like a fancy handle for a tool, or maybe a part of a lamp. It feels heavy and plated. It was alone on a shelf. Does anyone know what this could be? This is the center handle for a tiered serving stand, or cake stand. You know those fancy high tea displays with 3 plates stacked on top of each other? This metal rod goes through the holes in the center of the plates, screwing them all together. The loop at the top allows you to carry the entire tower of sandwiches and cakes to the table. Without the plates, it's just a lonely, ornate stick. You are walking in a field or digging in a garden in central Canada and find a large, rusty metal projectile. It is shaped like a giant bullet, pointed at the top and flat at the bottom. It looks heavy and dangerous. It looks like a bomb. Should you touch it? Does anyone know what this could be? This is an unexploded ordnance, UXO, specifically an artillery shell. Even in places like Canada, old military training ranges or testing grounds can leave behind dangerous remnants. Even if it looks rusty and ancient, the explosives inside can become unstable and more sensitive over time. Never touch, move, or disturb it. The correct course of action is to mark the location, move far away, and call the police or local authorities immediately to have a bomb disposal unit render it safe. You find a small, gray plastic piece in the dryer after doing laundry. It looks like a mechanical claw or a robot hand. It is very small. It has a stud on one end. It survived the washing machine and dryer without melting. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a Lego piece, specifically a modified plate with clip, or a mechanical arm piece, often used in Star Wars or Bionicle sets. Lego plastic, ABS, is incredibly durable and can easily survive a trip through the laundry cycle. It likely fell out of a child's pocket. If you check your dryer drum, you might find a few more bricks that made a racket while tumbling around. You are walking in the countryside in Scotland and find a rusty metal ring with a pin attached to it. The pin has a mechanism that flips over to lock it. It looks like farming equipment. It was lying on a trail. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a linchpin, or linchpin. It is a fastener used to prevent a wheel or other part from sliding off the axle upon which it is riding. On farms, they are ubiquitous for securing implements like plows or trailers to the back of a tractor. The ring allows the farmer to grip it easily to pull it out, and the over-center loop snaps down to ensure the pin doesn't bounce out during travel. It's a small but critical piece of hardware that keeps heavy machinery together. You are renovating a 1950s home in Australia and find a weird socket on the wall or a plug on an old wire. It has two small round pins, one slightly larger than the other, or maybe flat pins in a strange configuration. It doesn't fit a modern power outlet. Does anyone know what this could be? This is likely a vintage 2-pin speaker plug, DIN 41529, or a specialized lamp plug used in mid-century homes. In the 1950s and 60s, it was common to have a central radio or hi-fi system wired to speakers mounted in the walls of different rooms. These dedicated sockets allowed you to plug a speaker in anywhere. Alternatively, it could be a polarized lighting plug used for 32-volt DC home lighting systems that were common in rural Australia before the grid arrived. You are walking along the beach of Lake Ontario and spot a rusted mechanical hulk half buried in the sand. It is an engine block, clearly from a vehicle, but it's small, too small for a car, but heavy enough to be substantial. It looks like a motorcycle engine, or maybe something from a lawnmower. It's covered in algae and rust. How did it end up in the lake? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a single-cylinder, 4-stroke engine, almost certainly manufactured by Honda. The specific shape of the casing and the cylinder head is iconic to the Honda horizontal engine family, first popularized by the Honda Super Cub C100 in 1958. These engines are the most produced internal combustion engines in human history, powering over 100 million motorcycles, scooters, and pit bikes worldwide. Their legendary durability means that even after years underwater, the internal gears might still be intact. It likely powered a small dirt bike or a generator that fell off a boat or was dumped years ago. You find a pair of weird metal tongs at a thrift shop. They don't look like kitchen tongs for salad. They have a scissor-like mechanism, but the grabbing ends are shaped like claws or talons. They are made of heavy iron or brass. They look like a weapon or a torture device. Does anyone know what this could be? These are coal tongs, or log tongs, an essential tool for a fireplace or wood stove. Unlike poker sticks, which just push logs around, these tongs allow you to grip a burning log or a hot coal securely to rearrange the fire. The claw design is specifically engineered to bite into the bark of firewood or the rough surface of coal, so it doesn't slip and roll out onto your carpet. They are often part of a companion set that includes a shovel, brush, and poker. You are cleaning out the back seat of a used car you just bought, or perhaps digging under the cushions of a couch in a house with kids. You find a stash of small, brightly colored plastic pieces. They are geometric, hard, and incredibly painful if you were to step on one in the dark. Some are bricks, some are tiny transparent studs, and others look like specialized hinges or wheels. They don't look like part of the car mechanism, but they are scattered everywhere. Does anyone know what this could be? These are, unmistakably, Lego bricks and components. Invented by the Danish carpenter Ole Kirk Christensen, The company name comes from the Danish phrase "leg god," meaning play well. The modern interlocking brick design was patented in 1958 and is made from a durable plastic called ABS, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. This material is so resilient that a brick from 1960 still clicks perfectly into a brick made today. Finding them in a used car is a classic sign that the previous owner had children who used the back seat as a play area. They are virtually indestructible, which is why they survive for decades under car seats. You are walking down an alleyway or a side street in a town like Duluth, Georgia, and you see a piece of paper taped to a wall or pole. It features a photograph of a family group, adults and children smiling together, with the text, "The Dowie's family," or similar. It doesn't look like a missing persons poster, and it isn't an advertisement for a service. It feels personal, almost like a lost memory left in a public place. Does anyone know what this could be? This is likely a piece of ephemera related to a local family reunion, a memorial, or a found photo project. In many communities, especially in the South, extended families hold large reunions and print up booklets or flyers to celebrate their lineage. Sometimes these papers are dropped or left behind. Alternatively, it could be part of a local scavenger hunt or an art project where people post found family photos to evoke a sense of shared community history. Without more distress signals on the flyer, it is simply a memento of the Dowis family that has drifted into the public sphere. You buy a house built around 1960 and find something puzzling in the bathroom. On the side of the vanity cabinet, right next to the toilet, there are two small metal hooks, or ceramic brackets, protruding from the wood. They are only a few inches apart. There is already a toilet paper holder on the wall, so these seem redundant. They stick out just a few millimeters, looking like broken remnants of something else. Does anyone know what this could be? These are the mounting brackets for an old-fashioned, surface-mounted toilet paper holder. In the mid-20th century, before spring-loaded spindles became the universal standard, many toilet paper holders consisted of a simple wooden or plastic roller held by a wire frame. The wire ends would hook into these small brackets, screwed into the vanity. Over time, as bathroom styles changed and jumbo rolls became popular, homeowners removed the bulky wire mechanism, but often left the small, unobtrusive hooks behind, because removing them would leave ugly holes in the cabinet finish. You are walking your dog and see a strange structure sitting on the ground in a neighbor's driveway or backyard. It looks like a small room or a pod made of fiberglass. It has windows on the sides and a lift-up glass door at the back. It looks like it could be a tiny sauna or a very small playhouse, but it has no floor. It's just a shell sitting on blocks. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a truck bed shell, also known as a camper shell, a topper, or a truck cap. It is designed to be mounted onto the bed of a pickup truck, transforming the open cargo area into a weatherproof, lockable storage space. They are typically made of fiberglass or aluminum and are color-matched to the truck. People often take them off when they need to haul tall loads like furniture or gravel. Since they are bulky and heavy, they are often stored on the ground in backyards or driveways when not in use, looking like weird, detached little houses. In an apartment in upstate New York, you notice a plastic box mounted on the wall, high up near the ceiling. It has slats or vents on the front. It isn't a smoke detector or a thermostat. There is no visible switch to operate it. Your boyfriend thinks it might be a PA system speaker or an intercom, but it never makes a sound. Does anyone know what this could be? This is the chime box, or sounder, for a hardwired doorbell system. Inside the plastic cover, there are two metal plates and solenoid plungers. When someone presses the button outside your door, an electrical circuit is completed, causing the plunger to strike the metal plates, once for ding and then again for dong. In many apartments, the wiring gets disconnected during renovations, or the button outside breaks, leaving the chime box silent and mysterious on the wall. It's a standard fixture in mid-20th century housing that has largely been replaced by wireless digital chimes. You find a small, flat object made of stainless steel. It is roughly rectangular or oval-shaped, with two finger holes and a central hole. It looks a bit like a pair of scissors that has been flattened and enclosed in a case. When you pull the finger loops apart, a razor-sharp blade slides across the central hole. It looks dangerous for a finger. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a guillotine-style cigar cutter. Cigars are typically capped with a leaf wrapper at one end to keep them from unraveling and to maintain humidity. Before you can smoke a cigar, you must cut off the cap to allow air to flow through. You place the head of the cigar into the central hole and squeeze the blades shut to slice off the tip cleanly. A sharp cut is essential. A dull cut can crush the cigar or cause the wrapper to unravel, ruining the smoking experience. You work at a gym or look at bathroom mirrors in public places and notice strange circular formations of smudge marks. It looks like someone pressed a pattern of suction cups onto the glass. It's always at head height. It happens repeatedly, even after the mirrors are cleaned. What could be leaving these specific geometric marks on the glass? Does anyone know what this could be? These marks are left by a silicone suction phone mount, often called the Octobuddy, or simply an octopus phone holder. These accessories stick to the back of a smartphone case and feature a grid of small suction cups. They are incredibly popular with influencers and gym-goers who use them to stick their phone to a mirror or window to record hands-free workout videos, TikToks, or makeup tutorials. When they pull the phone off, the suction cups leave behind those telltale, greasy circular prints on the glass. You are in a university building or a large hospital and see an elevator door with a strange symbol above it. It might look like a box or a weight. The text might say ES Cargo Elevator or simply have a pictogram that doesn't look like a person. It's usually located away from the main lobby. Does anyone know what this could be? This indicates a freight elevator or a service elevator. The ES likely stands for elevator service or escalera de servicio O, depending on the region. Unlike passenger elevators, these are designed to carry heavy loads, furniture, and equipment. They are typically larger, have deeper cabs, and durable, unfinished interiors to withstand damage from carts and pallets. The doors often open vertically or have wider clearances. In a university setting, they are used by maintenance staff to move desks, lab equipment, and supplies without blocking the passenger lifts used by students. You find a shell on the beach or see a creature in an aquarium that looks like a classic fan-shaped shell. But when it opens, you see dozens of tiny, bright blue dots lining the edge of the mantle inside. It looks alien, like it has too many eyes. It doesn't look like a clam or a mussel. Does anyone know what this could be? That is a living scallop, and those blue dots are indeed eyes. Unlike most bivalves, which are blind, scallops possess up to 200 tiny mirror-based eyes along the edge of their mantle. These eyes use a layer of guanine crystals to reflect light, much like a telescope, allowing the scallop to detect movement and shadows of predators. If they see a threat, they can snap their shell shut and jet propel themselves away through the water. It's one of the few mollusks that can actually look back at you. You find a brush on your front porch in Nashville. It has stiff bristles and a handle that bends upwards at a distinct angle. It looks cleaner and more specialized than a standard scrub brush. It wasn't there when you left for work. Why would someone leave a brush on your porch? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a heavy-duty grout and corner scrubbing brush. The upward bend in the handle is an ergonomic feature designed to keep your knuckles from scraping against the floor or wall while you scrub tile grout lines. It was likely left behind by a cleaning crew or a contractor who was working on a neighbor's house and mistakenly set it down on the wrong porch, or perhaps it fell out of a maintenance bucket. It's a very specific tool for deep cleaning tiled surfaces. You move into a new home and find a blank wall plate with a small, dark red plastic window in the center. It looks like a sensor. Behind the plate, it is wired into the wall. It's often located near where a TV would go. It isn't a camera. Does anyone know what this could be? This is an infrared, IR receiver, specifically a model like the Xantech 78080. It is part of a hidden home theater system. In high-end setups, people often put their cable boxes, Blu-ray players, and amplifiers in a closet or a closed cabinet to keep the living room looking clean. This receiver picks up the signal from your remote control and sends it through wires in the wall to emitters stuck to the equipment in the closet. It allows you to point your remote at the wall and control devices you can't even see. You look up at the night sky and see bright beams of light moving back and forth against the clouds. They are looping in circles or sweeping across the sky. It looks like something from a movie premiere or a Batman signal. It's happening over a specific part of town. Does anyone know what this could be? These are promotional searchlights, or sky trackers. They are high-intensity xenon arc lamps used to draw attention to grand openings, carnivals, or special events like a strip club opening or a car dealership sale. The beams can be seen for miles. While they look mysterious and sometimes spark UFO reports, they are simply a classic form of advertising designed to make people look up and wonder, what's happening over there? Exactly as you just did. You buy a new manga book or a DVD and find a small square sticker inside the cover. It feels slightly thick, like there is a raised circuit underneath the paper. It usually has a barcode and maybe a warning about not removing it. It looks like a tracking device. Does anyone know what this could be? This is an EAS, Electronic Article Surveillance Security Tag. Inside the sticker is a tiny radio frequency, RF, or acoustomagnetic coil. If you try to walk out of the store without paying, this tag triggers the alarm pedestals at the door. When you buy the item, the cashier rubs it across a deactivator pad, which overloads the circuit, killing the tag so you can leave quietly. It's standard loss prevention technology used by libraries and bookstores worldwide. Your wife is given a small, ornate container. It looks like a tiny bottle or flask, but instead of a spout, the lid has a long glass or metal stick attached to it that dips inside. It's too small to be a drink flask. It looks elegant and antique. What is the stick for? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a perfume dabber, or perfume applicator. Before spray bottles became the standard, high-end perfumes were sold as pure oils or concentrated extracts in stoppered bottles. You would unscrew the lid and use the glass wand, the dabber, to apply a small drop of scent to your pulse points, like your wrists or behind your ears. It allowed for a precise, delicate application of very expensive fragrances without wasting a single drop. You see a sticker or an image of a person wearing a giant, realistic frog costume. The frog is often depicted dancing or posing. It looks like a meme or a mascot, but the context seems political or protest-related. It's not Kermit or Pepe. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a reference to a specific viral moment from a 2018 protest in Portland, Oregon. During a demonstration against ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a protester showed up in a full-body, realistic frog costume and began dancing tauntingly in front of the federal agents. The anti-ICE frog became an instant internet legend and a symbol of absurd, non-violent protest. Stickers and art of the dancing frog are now used as a niche political symbol within activist circles. You look inside your Brita water filter pitcher and see tiny, sand-like beads at the bottom. Some are white, some are black or orange. You panic, thinking your filter has burst or that it's mold growing in your water. Is it safe to drink? Does anyone know what this could be? Those beads are the actual filtration media, ion exchange resin, and activated carbon. The black specks are carbon, charcoal, which removes chlorine and taste. The white or orange beads are the ion exchange resin, which removes heavy metals like lead and copper and softens the water. Occasionally, a filter cartridge can crack or leak a small amount of this media into the pitcher. While it looks alarming, the materials are food-grade and non-toxic. It's not mold, just the stuff that makes your water clean. You see strange white, cottony lumps on the branches of a tree, perhaps in Italy or elsewhere. They look like strings of marshmallow or fungus. They appear in the winter. The tree looks infested. It's unsightly and covers the bark. Does anyone know what this could be? This is an infestation of Takahashia japonica, also known as the cotton stringy scale insect. Originating in Asia, it has become an invasive pest in Europe. The white, looping strings you see are actually the egg sacs produced by the female insects. Each waxy loop contains thousands of eggs. They attach themselves to branches of trees like mulberries and maples, sucking the sap and weakening the tree. It's a serious horticultural pest that looks like a festive, albeit gross, decoration. You find a metal wire stand or a wooden box with a slot. It is open on the sides. It sits on a coffee table. It looks like a napkin holder, but napkins would flop over. It's the right size for a round or square disc. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a coaster holder. Coasters, those mats you put under drinks to protect the table, are often sold in sets of 4 or 6. To keep them tidy when not in use, they come with a caddy or holder like this one. You stack the coasters inside it. Without the coasters, the empty wire frame looks like a useless piece of metal sculpture, but its only job is to organize your drink mats. You find a set of copper relief plaques. They depict strange, mythical scenes with trolls, forests, or Vikings. They look hand-beaten and rustic. Your Norwegian relatives were going to throw them away. They look like folk art. Does anyone know what this could be? These are pieces of Scandinavian copper repoussé art, likely from the mid-20th century. Creating raised images by hammering the back of a copper sheet was a popular craft in countries like Norway and Sweden. The themes are deeply rooted in Nordic folklore, often featuring trolls with big noses and tails, or idyllic rural scenes. They were common souvenirs and wall decorations in Scandinavian homes, valued for their warmth and cultural storytelling. You see a tall pole erected on the side of the road near your house. Attached to it is a gray box, or a camera-like device, pointing at the street. It appeared overnight. It isn't a speed camera or a streetlight. It seems to be watching the traffic. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a traffic data collection unit, often a non-intrusive radar or video scanner, like the Mio Vision Scout. City planners and traffic engineers install these temporarily to count cars, measure speeds, and analyze traffic patterns. They use this data to decide if a road needs a new traffic light, a stop sign, or widening. Unlike speed traps, they don't issue tickets. They are strictly for gathering data to improve road infrastructure. You find a strange plant in the Arizona desert. It looks like a shrub with waxy leaves. You are wondering if it is invasive and needs to be removed. It looks hardy and ancient. Does anyone know what this could be? This is likely the creosote bush, Larea tridentata, one of the most iconic and enduring plants of the American Southwest. It is native, not invasive. These plants are incredibly resilient and long-lived. Some clonal colonies, like the king clone in the Mojave Desert, are estimated to be nearly 12,000 years old. They produce a distinct smell when it rains, the smell of the desert. Removing it would be destroying a piece of ancient, native ecology. You see a musical instrument that looks like a cross between a lute and a harp. It has a large, round body, a short neck, and dozens of strings running down the soundboard. It doesn't look like a guitar or a zither. It looks Eastern European. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a bandura, the national musical instrument of Ukraine. It is a unique, plucked string instrument that combines elements of a lute and a zither. It has a distinct, sparkling sound, similar to a harp or harpsichord. The bandura has a deep cultural significance, historically played by wandering blind minstrels called kobzars. It is a symbol of the Ukrainian voice and resistance, with a history dating back centuries. You walk through a parking lot in winter and notice that every car has its windshield wipers pulled up, sticking straight into the air like antennae. It looks like a prank or a cult ritual. Why would everyone do this at the same time? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a common practice in snowy regions ahead of a winter storm. Drivers lift their wiper blades off the windshield to prevent them from freezing to the glass. If the wipers freeze to the windshield, turning them on can strip the rubber or burn out the wiper motor. Lifting them also makes it much easier to scrape the ice and snow off the windshield in the morning without damaging the blades. It's a sign that bad weather is coming. You find a small yellow plastic object shaped like a miniature ear of corn. It has 2 sharp metal prongs sticking out of one end. It looks like a tiny weapon or a toy. It was found in a kitchen drawer. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a corn cob holder. Eating corn on the cob is messy, hot, and buttery work. These holders are designed to be stabbed into the ends of the cob, providing cool, clean handles for you to hold while you eat. They are usually sold in pairs. The corn shape is a classic novelty design that has remained unchanged for decades, a staple of summer barbecues everywhere. You bite into a pear and notice the texture is gritty or grainy like sand. Sometimes you see little white clusters in the flesh. It feels weird compared to an apple. Is the fruit bad? Does anyone know what this could be? Those gritty bits are called stone cells, sclerides. They are clusters of thick-walled cells that give pears their characteristic texture. Their biological purpose is to provide structural support for the soft fruit and to deter insects from eating it before it ripens. In some varieties, or if the pear was stressed during growth, these stone cells can become larger and more noticeable. They are perfectly natural and safe to eat. They are just part of what makes a pear a pear. You get a freebie with a perfume purchase. It is a bundle of threads tied at the top, hanging down. It looks like a decoration for a curtain or a graduation cap. It's labeled trottle. It has a loop. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a decorative tassel. The German word is trottle. While traditionally used on uniforms or curtains in the context of fashion and perfume, brands like Carolina Herrera, it is meant to be a bag charm or a keychain. You loop it onto the handle of your purse, your keys, or even the perfume bottle itself to add a touch of luxury and movement. It's a purely aesthetic accessory designed to elevate everyday items. You bite into a crisp apple, but then you look down and see a distinct brown ring or line running through the white flesh. It isn't a worm tunnel or rot. It's just a discoloration in the meat of the fruit. It looks unappealing, and you wonder if the apple is safe to eat or if it has some kind of disease. Does anyone know what this could be? This is enzymatic browning caused by a specific type of bruising. Unlike a surface bruise from dropping the apple, this internal browning often happens when the apple is compressed or vibrated during shipping in crates. The pressure damages the cells deep inside the fruit, releasing enzymes that react with oxygen to turn the flesh brown. It often happens in a circular pattern because of how the apples press against each other or the machinery. It is perfectly safe to eat, though the texture might be slightly softer in that area. You crack open a fresh egg to make breakfast and see a small, reddish-brown lump floating in the white or attached to the yolk. It looks like a piece of tissue or a blood clot. It's definitely not part of a normal yolk. It looks gross, and your instinct is to throw the whole egg away. Is it a fertilized embryo? Does anyone know what this could be? This is called a meat spot. It is not an embryo, and it does not mean the egg was fertilized. It is simply a tiny piece of the hen's reproductive tissue from the oviduct that sloughed off and got trapped inside the egg as the shell was forming. It is completely harmless and safe to eat, though most people choose to scoop it out with a spoon for aesthetic reasons. It's a natural occurrence that is usually filtered out of commercial eggs by scanning machines, but occasionally one slips through. You are crawling under your house, perhaps a home built around 1963, and you see a network of thick copper wires running along the floor joists. They all seem to connect to a metal rod driven into the earth. It doesn't look like plumbing or electrical wiring for lights. It looks like a deliberate grid. Does anyone know what this could be? This is an electrical grounding system, specifically an old-style grounding rod setup. The purpose is to provide a safe path for excess electricity to dissipate into the earth in the event of a lightning strike or a power surge. By connecting the home's electrical panel and metal pipes to this rod driven deep into the ground, it prevents dangerous voltage from building up in the house's wiring or appliances, protecting both the structure from fire and the occupants from electrocution. You see a soldier or someone in a tactical outfit wearing a strange elastic band around their calf or ankle, right over their boot. It looks like a tourniquet or a strap, but it doesn't seem to hold anything. It just wraps around the leg. It looks uncomfortable. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a boot band, also known as a blousing strap or twist. It is used by military personnel to blouse their trousers. The strap wraps around the ankle, and the bottom of the pant leg is tucked up and under it. This creates a neat, sealed seal between the pants and the boot. It serves two purposes. It keeps the uniform looking sharp and professional, and, practically, it prevents insects, dirt, and rocks from crawling up the soldier's leg while marching in the field. You are cleaning up after a party and find a pair of strange, rubbery objects near the plates. They look like little finger puppets or weird clam shells made of silicone. They are too small to be gloves. They open up like a mouth. They look like toys, but they were in the kitchen. Does anyone know what this could be? These are silicone pinch mitts, or mini oven mitts. Unlike full-sized oven gloves that cover your whole hand and arm, these are designed to cover just your fingers and thumb. They allow you to quickly grab a hot plate from the microwave or lift a lid off a pot without the bulk of a large mitt. While they offer good heat protection for fingertips, they leave your wrists exposed, so they are best for quick, light tasks rather than pulling a turkey out of the oven. You find a small, black, curved piece of material on your desk at work. It is about the size of a pea or a fingernail clipping. It has a woven texture that looks like carbon fiber. It looks like a piece of a high-end car or a bike that broke off. How did it get on your desk? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a small fragment of a carbon fiber component, likely a splitter or cable management piece. Carbon fiber is used in high-end bicycle frames, luxury car interiors, and even some expensive office accessories like monitor stands or pens. If a piece of carbon fiber laminate is stressed or chipped, a small flake like this can pop off. It's incredibly strong but brittle. Finding it on your desk suggests a piece of expensive gear nearby has a tiny chip in it. You receive a package of kitchen whisks you ordered, but inside the box, there is also a random piece of hard white plastic. It looks like a curved handle or a safety grip. It definitely isn't a whisk. The seller has no idea why it was in there. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a safety grab bar or handle, often marketed as a suction cup handle for the bathroom. They are designed to attach to the wall of a shower or next to a toilet to help people with mobility issues sit down or stand up safely. It likely fell into your shipping box at a massive fulfillment warehouse like Amazon, where bins of random products sit next to each other. It's a brushing error or a simple packing mistake. You find a metal tool in your grandfather's workshop. It has two handles and a central clamp. The clamp is adjusted by twisting one of the handles. It looks like it holds something square in the middle. Grandpa was a boat builder. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a tap wrench, or T-handle tap wrench. It is used to hold a tap, a hardened steel cutting tool used to cut internal threads into a hole so it can accept a screw or bolt. You tighten the jaws around the square shank of the tap, then turn the handles by hand to slowly drive the tap into the drilled hole. It requires patience and precision, skills a pattern maker and boat builder like your grandfather would have had in abundance. You find a plastic tube on the floor at work or on a construction site. It is clear, but it has a spiral pattern inside it that looks like a screw. It is pointed at one end. It looks like a medical device or a weird straw. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a static mixing nozzle for a two-part epoxy or adhesive gun. Industrial glues often come in two separate cartridges, resin and hardener, that must be mixed immediately before use. As the two liquids are pushed through this nozzle, the internal spiral structure forces them to fold over each other dozens of times, ensuring they are perfectly mixed by the time they reach the tip. Once the glue dries inside, the nozzle is thrown away, which is why you found it discarded. You inherit a thin metal strip from your grandmother. It is decorative and flat. You have been using it as a bookmark, but you notice it crimps the pages slightly. It looks almost like a giant bobby pin or a paperclip. Is it actually for hair? Does anyone know what this could be? This is likely a page clip style bookmark. Unlike a flat ribbon that sits between pages, these metal clips slide over the top of the page to mark your spot. However, if it is particularly tight or springy, it might indeed be a vintage hair clip or slide repurposed by your grandmother. In the world of antiques, the line between a hair accessory and a paper accessory is often just a matter of how the owner decided to use it. If it bends the paper, it's probably too strong to be a good bookmark. You open your dishwasher in a new apartment and find a strange plastic disc loose in the bottom. It has slats or vents on it. It doesn't look like it belongs to the dishwasher racks or the sprayer arm. You check the rest of the kitchen, but nothing seems broken. Did the previous tenant wash trash? Does anyone know what this could be? This is the light cover or fan intake cover from the range hood above your stove. People often put these greasy plastic covers in the dishwasher to clean them. The force of the water jets likely knocked it loose from the rack during the cycle, and it fell to the bottom. If you look up at the underside of your microwave or range hood, you will likely see a bare light bulb or an exposed fan hole where this piece snaps in. It's a classic case of fauna orphaned part migrating from one appliance to another. You find a bag of tiny white plastic things. Each one has 3 short, sharp metal pins sticking out of the back. They look like strange bugs or alien electrical parts. They are too small to be shelf brackets. You hammer them into something. But what? Does anyone know what this could be? These are hard wall hangers, or concrete picture hooks. They are designed specifically for hanging art on hard surfaces like concrete, brick, or cinder block walls, where a normal nail would just bend. The 3 short, hardened steel pins distribute the force of the hammer blow, allowing them to penetrate the hard masonry surface without chipping it. They are a staple in dorm rooms and apartments with brick walls, often leaving behind 3 tiny distinct holes when removed. You walk into a room in your house and see a horrifying sight. A tube of dirt is growing out of the wall or up from the floor tiles. It looks like a twisting sculpture made of mud. It wasn't there yesterday. It looks organic and threatening. Is it a fungus? Does anyone know what this could be? This is a shelter tube, or mud tube, built by subterranean termites. Termites have soft bodies that dry out easily, so they cannot travel in the open air. To get from their colony in the moist ground to the delicious wood structure of your house, they build these tunnels out of soil, wood particles, and their own saliva. Seeing this means they have actively breached your home's perimeter and are currently eating the framing behind your walls. It is an immediate call to action for a pest control professional. You are sorting through a box of donated toys and find a weird little gadget. It is made of 2 metal rings, some bicycle chain links, and rubber O-rings. It flips inside out endlessly in your hand. It feels satisfying, but pointless. It doesn't look like a traditional toy. Does anyone know what this could be? This is a flippy chain fidget toy. Before fidget spinners took over the world, these were the discrete fidget tool of choice for adults and students with ADHD or anxiety. The design is simple. 2 key rings connected by bike chain links allowed the user to roll the device over their fingers in a silent, continuous motion. They are often handmade or sold as EDC, everyday carry items, to help with focus and stress relief without making the clicking noises that annoy teachers and coworkers. You are watching an NFL game and see a player like Marcus Mariota sucking on a small plastic packet on the sidelines. It looks like a condiment packet, maybe honey or ketchup, but why would a quarterback be eating condiments mid-game? Does anyone know what this could be? This is an energy gel pack, such as those made by Goo or Morton. They contain a concentrated blend of carbohydrates, maltodextrin and fructose, and electrolytes. Athletes consume them for a rapid spike in blood sugar and energy without the heaviness of solid food or the sloshing of too much liquid. It allows them to maintain peak physical performance and mental focus during the grueling later quarters of a game. It's essentially high-octane fuel for the human body. What was the weirdest object for you? Let me know in the comments and share this to test your friends. If you love uncovering these mysteries, hit like and subscribe. Your support helps us find more curious explorers like you. Stay curious.